You finally make 6 figures. Congratulations. Your company, landlord, car payment, health insurance plan, future bonus date, and that one friend who only suggests restaurants with tiny chairs would all like to remind you that freedom has terms and conditions. For decades, 6 figures was the number. It sounded like a rival. It sounded like you had escaped. It sounded like the financial version of walking into a room while everyone else slowly turns and says, "Ah yes, a responsible adult has entered." But today, a lot of people hit $100,000, $150,000, even $200,000 a year, and the feeling is not freedom. The feeling is confusion. Because the paycheck got bigger, but somehow the life did too. The apartment got better, the car got safer, which is the adult way of saying more expensive, the city got louder, the taxes got real, the benefits got comfortable, the bonus got scheduled 6 months from now, the RSUs started vesting next quarter. And suddenly the job you were supposed to use as a ladder starts looking a lot like a very nicely carpeted cage. That is the 6-figure salary trap. Not because 6 figures is fake money. It is real money. Not because everyone making 6 figures is secretly broke. Some people are doing great. Annoyingly great. They have spreadsheets with color coding and a calm relationship with olive oil prices. The trap is different. The trap is that a 6-figure corporate salary can give you just enough comfort to raise your fixed costs, just enough status to keep chasing, and just enough fear to make walking away feel irresponsible. So in this video, we're going to break down how that happens. Why $100,000 does not feel like the old $100,000. Why the danger zone is not just low income. Sometimes it is the comfortable middle between I am struggling and I am actually free. And how to loosen the handcuffs without doing the dramatic movie version where you quit your job, throw your badge in slow motion, and then immediately discover health insurance. First, we need to talk about the myth. 6 figures used to be a clean cultural signal. If someone made $100,000, that meant they were doing well. It meant a house was probably possible, a car was probably possible, vacations were probably possible, retirement contributions were probably possible, and your relatives could finally stop asking if your degree was leading somewhere. But the problem with money milestones is that people remember the number, not the environment around the number. $100,000 in a cheaper city, with lower housing costs, no major debt, no children, and a paid-off car is one life. $100,000 in a high-cost city, with rent, student loans, car insurance, healthcare, family support, and the social pressure of everyone around you also pretending appetizers are normal dinner is a different life. Same salary, different operating system. That is why this topic gets people so angry, because one person hears 6 figures and thinks, you should be rich. Another person hears 6 figures and thinks, my rent just cleared and I need to sit down. Both reactions can be emotionally understandable, but neither is the full story. The full story is that gross income is not the same thing as optionality. Gross income is the motivational poster. Take-home pay is the adult in the room, and fixed costs are the adult's adult. That is where the trap starts. Imagine someone making $150,000 a year. That sounds strong. It is strong. But before that person feels rich, the money has to pass through a little obstacle course. Federal taxes, state taxes depending on where they live, payroll taxes, health insurance premiums, retirement contributions, rent or mortgage, transportation, food, debt payments, insurance, subscriptions, emergency savings if they are trying to be responsible. And then finally, the money gets to the part of the budget where people say things like, why do I not feel wealthy? Because the money arrived. It just arrived with several adults already holding clipboards. This is where a lot of finance content gets too cute. It blames the coffee, it blames the takeout, it blames the occasional little treat, as if the latte personally set housing prices. And yes, small spending can matter. If your budget is leaking from 20 places, you should not ignore the leaks because each one has a cute logo. But most 6-figure salary traps are not built from coffee. They are built from fixed costs. The rent you signed, the car payment you accepted, the private school or childcare bill you cannot casually delete, the debt payment that does not ask how your week went, the apartment in the city where the salary exists, the lifestyle that felt reasonable because the income sounded impressive. That is why the same salary can feel completely different depending on where you live. The Bureau of Economic Analysis tracks regional price differences, which is basically the polite government way of saying a dollar has different self-esteem depending on the metro area. In some places, $150,000 can buy space, savings, and breathing room. In other places, it buys a professional-looking apartment, a commute, and the privilege of explaining to your parents why you still do not own a dining table. And this is not just about coastal cities, it is about the whole cost stack: housing, transportation, taxes, insurance, childcare, healthcare, student loans, family obligations, professional expectations. If enough of those stack up, six figures starts acting less like wealth and more like permission to survive in a more expensive room. Now, here is where the corporate part enters. The company does not need to be evil for the system to be sticky. That is important. We are not doing cartoon villain finance. No executive is sitting in a dark boardroom whispering, "Give them dental and they shall never leave." Probably. But companies do design compensation systems to retain people. That is the whole point of benefits, bonuses, vesting schedules, deferred compensation, and career ladders. Investopedia calls these golden handcuffs, financial incentives that encourage employees to stay rather than leave. And once you see them, they are everywhere. The bonus pays in March, the stock vests in June, the 401k match is too good to ignore, the health insurance covers your family, the title looks good, the manager says you are on track. The next promotion is maybe one cycle away, which is corporate for, "Please age another year in this chair." Each thing is reasonable by itself. Benefits are good. Bonuses are good. Stock compensation can be good. Career progress is good. The trap is not that any single piece is bad. The trap is that all of them together can turn leaving into a math problem, an identity problem, and a fear problem at the same time. You do not just ask, "Do I like this job?" You ask, "Can I replace the salary? What happens to health insurance? What about the bonus? What about the unvested stock? What if the next job is worse? What if I am being ungrateful? What if I finally make this much money and walking away means I am bad at being an adult?" And there it is, the comfortable cage, not locked from the outside, maintained from the inside. Now let us talk about why the $100,000 to $240,000 range is especially dangerous. Below a certain income, the pressure is obvious. There is not enough money and everyone knows it. Above a certain level, if you avoid lifestyle explosion, you may have enough room to buy back time, flexibility, and optionality. But in the middle, the trap gets subtle. You make enough to upgrade your life. You make enough to qualify for bigger commitments. You make enough that people stop feeling bad for you. You make enough that complaining feels embarrassing. But you may not make enough to be careless, and that is a strange psychological place. You are not poor. You are not financially free. You are busy. You are insured. You are vested. You are subscribed. You are mildly tired. And you have a calendar reminder called bonus payout that has more emotional control over you than you would prefer to admit. This is why people can earn a lot and still feel stuck. The income is high, but the commitments are higher than they used to be. And the commitments are not just financial, they are social. At six figures, the world starts quietly asking you to perform competence: better apartment, better clothes, better vacations, nicer restaurants, weddings, gifts, fitness, networking, professional image. The lifestyle does not arrive as one giant bad decision. It arrives as a series of reasonable upgrades. I work hard, so I deserve a nicer place. Reasonable. I need a reliable car. Reasonable. This city is expensive, but this is where the jobs are. Reasonable. I should enjoy life a little. Reasonable. I will start saving more after the next raise. Famous last words. This is how lifestyle creep works. It does not kick down the door. It moves in politely, labels one shelf in the fridge, and then somehow has its name on the lease. So what do you do? Because the answer is not, never make six figures. That would be a bold strategy. Terrible, but bold. The answer is also not, quit your job. Most people should not turn a YouTube video into a resignation letter. Please do not walk into HR saying the money signal sent you. We are not providing emotional support at security. The answer is to separate income from control. A salary is income. Control is different. Control is how much of that income you keep, how much of your lifestyle is fixed, how much cash you have outside your employer, how much debt is attached to your monthly life, how dependent you are on one company for income, healthcare, identity, and future promises. The first move is to know your real monthly burn, not your optimistic budget, not your "if I stop ordering food and become a monk by Tuesday" budget. Your real burn, how much money leaves every month before you feel like you made a choice. Housing, utilities, insurance, debt, transportation, food, healthcare, minimum family obligations. The number may be rude, that is fine. Rude numbers are useful numbers. The second move is to cap fixed costs before your next raise arrives. Raises are dangerous because they feel like permission. The promotion lands, and suddenly every store, landlord, car dealer, and travel website hears boss music. If you do not decide where the raise goes before it arrives, your lifestyle will hold a meeting and allocate it for you. So, set a rule. Maybe half of every raise goes to savings, debt payoff, or investing before lifestyle touches it. Maybe bonuses are split before they hit checking. Maybe RSUs get diversified on a schedule instead of becoming a personality trait. The exact rule depends on your life. The important part is that the raise does not walk into your budget unsupervised. The third move is to build non-employer liquidity. This is where the handcuffs loosen: cash runway, taxable investments, debt reduction, skills outside the company, a network outside your team, income options that are not controlled by one badge. The goal is not to hate your job, the goal is to make the job a choice again. If you like your job, great. If the company is good to you, great. If the benefits are strong, great. But a good job is still healthier when you can leave it. Optionality changes the relationship. When you cannot leave, every meeting has a little extra gravity. When you can leave, the same meeting is just a meeting. Still annoying, obviously. We are not doing miracles, but less existential. The fourth move is to calculate your freedom spread. This is not a complicated formula. Take-home income minus fixed costs minus required savings and debt goals. What is left? That leftover is not just fun money, it is your flexibility. If the freedom spread is thin, the salary may be high, but the life is fragile. If the freedom spread is growing, the salary is starting to become control. That is the whole game. Turning income into control, not just into nicer evidence that you are employed. And finally, separate achievement from dependency. Making six figures is an achievement. You can be proud of it, you can enjoy it, you can even buy the good olive oil. Within reason, the bottle should not need a financing department. But do not confuse the milestone with the destination. A six-figure salary is not freedom, it is fuel. And fuel can take you somewhere, or it can power a treadmill. The difference is the system around it. So the real question is not, do I make six figures? The real question is, how much of that salary turns into optionality? How much turns into fixed commitments? How much depends on one employer? How long could I walk away if I had to? And if my company stopped paying me tomorrow, would my life shrink or would it collapse? That is the signal. 6 figures is good. The trap is mistaking a better paycheck for actual control. Build the control. Then the salary becomes a tool, not a cage with direct deposit.